Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Box Score Sports Podcast. On this clip, we are just going to give our initial thoughts of Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers for Anthony Davis. And the big question I have is, where were you when it happened? Clint, how's it going? And where were you when you heard the news?
Good. Like everyone else, I was just sitting on the sofa and I picked up my phone and I have the alerts on for Shams. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, is this real? And then he tweeted like right away, this is real. And I'm like just staring at it going, what is what is happening? So I fired up Twitter and I'm like scrolling through and everyone has the same idea, like what is happening? And then, we started getting verification of it.
Yeah, it was crazy. We were playing 2K, and I got a notification. I'm like, guys, I think Luka's a Laker, and everyone's like, no, no, that ain't possible. Every one of us were in denial, and yeah, that's how it happened. It was kind of crazy.
You
Um,
just, one of those you don't see coming. Like there's, no whispers of it, and then it just hits you like a ton of bricks.
yeah, yeah, totally agree. So this clip, guys, we're just gonna get like we're gonna give a initial like 10 minutes reaction to the trade. If you want to hear more about it, we will be doing a podcast, or I will be doing a podcast later on this week. I'll get a little bit more in depth into it, but let's go over why this trade happened. I got about 5 possibilities for you, Clint. Do you want to hear them? Which one is more likely?
Shoot them.
Okay, the first one is NBA ratings. The NBA ratings have been down. They called in the Mavericks and Lakers to make this favor so more people would be interested in the NBA.
I like it.
Okay. The second reason this trade happened is because the GM for the Mavericks and the GM for the Lakers are friends, and either he owed him a favor or there's some blackmail going on.
That at this rate, that seems plausible.
Okay. My third one, they meant to actually trade Kyrie. They accidentally put Luka's name, and they didn't want to go through all the paperwork, so it just ended up being Luka.
That would make it worth it. But that would be pretty funny.
Yeah. And then my final thought was that they both were having a fun night out and drinking, and thought this would be a funny trade, and did it, and now they kind of have to live with that choice.
Yeah, I heard someone, a different podcast I was listening to, joke that maybe they had a couple too many drinks and he woke up to the same text messages we did. Like, what did you do?
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, guys. Now we're gonna take it seriously. Okay, let's just talk about the trade. Let us know in the comments down below what conspiracy theory you best fits the narrative there, the 5 that I went over, if you have one of your own. But let's just talk about the trade and get into each team. So the Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, and Morris. You had to throw Morris in that trade for sure. And then Davis, Christie, and a 2029 first round pick goes to the Mavericks. And then the Jazz just are in there to get a couple second round picks, and Jalen Hood. I'm not even going to pronounce his last name.
Shafino.
Shafino. Okay. So obviously we don't really have to hit on the Jazz side of it, but let's just first look at the Mavs. And I think what everybody is asking is why. How do you feel about this for the Mavs?
Dumbfounded. Um, you know, I'll start by saying I get if the Mavs wanted to move off of Luka.
Sure.
Like, I totally understand if you saw, his performance in the finals defensively, and stuff has come out now that we're, close to 24 hours after it. Stuff has come out about his conditioning. He's like 270 pounds now. Worried about all that. I understand it. Like, he's not the same player, but similar to the Pelicans should have traded Zion.
Sure. Yep.
But if you are going to move Luka, you should probably do a better job of this. And I feel like the Mavericks made like a fantasy football trade where they were like, well, AD is worth 2 first round picks and Max Christie is worth one first round pick. And we got 1. So we really did get 4 first round picks. And they're just like justifying their actions if you're going to trade Luka and you're going to do it silently, find a few teams, one with a bunch of picks, one with Anthony Davis, one with something else. But to just, as I think it was your second point, call up your good friend and kick it around, which seems like happened for a few days, and that
Yeah.
was the only offer. No one else was involved, and then it just comes across their timeline. It seems borderline irresponsible.
100% agree. The fact that they didn't at least get more picks out of this, like whether it's straight up picks or pick swap, I don't understand how they didn't get more for Luka. They talk about the durability of Luka and his conditioning. It's like, okay, Anthony Davis, he's not the standard of durability that we all look to either. Like he missed a ton of games as well. In fact, he's currently injured. So that just didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I, you know, I agree with you. If they wanted to do it with the Lakers and they really wanted Anthony Davis, how do they not get more picks out of this? And then, like, if you're like, well, they could have shopped around. Like, the Jazz are a team with a bunch of picks in the future. Why not talk to them? Or the Rockets, who have a ton of young talent and a bunch of picks and really need, like, a one-time scorer. And it just totally baffles me that the GM's like, well, we feel like could win a championship, basically, with AD. It's like, last year you were 4 wins away, 3 wins away of winning a championship. What are you talking about? So, just in any like I get you what you're saying as far as like, hey, we saw some problems here, so we want to get rid of him while his stock is high. But even with that being the case, you gotta let bidding wars that happen. You gotta get some way better than this. And it's like some people are saying 60 cents on the dollar. I'm like, it's like more like 40 cents on the dollar. Like, I don't understand. This guy's an MVP candidate. He's like a top three player most when he's healthy.
For sure. And if AD was 28, we're talking 28-year-old Anthony Davis. All right, you get a little more leeway, you got a
Sure.
little more runway. But Anthony Davis is going to be 32, and he's still playing great. But this is back end of his prime, and Kyrie Irving isn't, young, and he has a bulging disc issue. Like,
Right.
you know, so you're right, and I do get to a point them not just like straight out making like shopping him because
Sure.
I think part of it is you don't want to be known as the team that sent uh, an MVP caliber player to Siberia and
Sure.
just exile them. But I feel like you're just trying to be the smartest guy in the room, and you're just trying to. Well, Anthony Davis is our guy. We got to pick Max Christie. It just it feels hastily, and the more reports that come out that they just kind of spitballed it to the Lakers, and the Lakers didn't even have to counter. Like if you're the Lakers and your friend calls you and says AD and a first and Christie, they were probably like, "Are you drunk?" But it seems you got to do better than a guy that's got a 10-year runway, even if you think he's fat and injuries are going to mount going forward. You can do better than an aging, injury prone guy.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I imagine the call was like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Okay, we'll throw in Morris. We'll give you Morris too. We'll give you Luka, Morris, and Cleaver. Will you take that?" Oh yeah, sure. Like it just, I don't understand. I agree with you 100%. It's rough. It's rough for the Mavericks. I think they'll regret it. Maybe we will all look stupid, but I have not seen one person out there being like, "Yeah, this is a good trade for the Mavericks." Not one.
And I even think there is a percent that we look back in 10 years and like, oh, the Mavericks got off the Luka train at the right time. But that's irrelevant to the fact that you didn't actually cash out.
Right.
Unless you win two championships or a championship in the next 2 years with Anthony Davis, even if you got out in front and you're totally right on Luka and he's just never going to get in shape and he's going to kind of turn into Zion, you still didn't get besides a 2029 unprotected first of great value out of it. So even if you win the trade in 5 years, you didn't really win the trade because you could have had a haul and
Yeah.
restarted your whole team for another 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, 100%. And well, I was gonna mention, man, what was it? I can't remember. I lost it. Okay, anything else on the Lakers side of it? I mean, the Mavs side of it. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think so. They're talking, defense and
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe
Let,
they'll be good for it, but I don't see again. Now I think they're going to have not enough offense, ball
Right.
creation,
Yeah.
but can't build perfectly.
Yeah, agreed. And we'll like I'll talk more about it on Tuesday's podcast or whatever. So, okay, let's move on to the Lakers side really quick. This was an obvious move. The only question I have with this move is like, how is Luka going to work with LeBron this year? But I think overall, I mean, the Lakers nailed it. I don't know how they get so fortunate with the superstars always going to their team. I know why, but it's unfortunate. Um, but what's your thoughts on the Lakers side of this?
I, I mean, the Lakers side is obvious home run
Yeah.
reset. Um, and even if you got sick of Luka in a year, yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do quite a bit better than what they had to pay if they have to move Luka going forward. But just the opportunity cost of getting rid of an aging star, LeBron, he's probably only got a year or two left. So, irregardless of the fit, you just gave yourself, assuming there's no injury and he doesn't tank his own career, another superstar for another 10 years.
Yeah, and if you're the Lakers, you kind of hope if they, keep LeBron for this year or whatever, LeBron can teach him the ways of the staying in shape and all that stuff he does, and maybe Luka will take it seriously. Hopefully, he kind of takes this as a slight towards him, and he like uses it to motivation or whatever. Um, okay, real quick, Lakers, you think they'll trade LeBron or keep him?
I think they'll keep him. I think LeBron, they're kind of calling his bluff. Not that, he was devastated that AD is gone to get Luka. Luka and LeBron are good friends. But unless LeBron wants to go, I don't think he's going anywhere. This is just we got to eventually reset. We don't have a championship team this year. This doesn't make you a championship team this year unless they make another trade for a center. But you can't pass up the opportunity to get a top five player in the league and reset that by giving away a 32-year-old guy and only one pick.
No, yeah, I agree. And then so you think LeBron was blindsided?
I do because I think any
I do
trade
too.
like this
Yeah,
has to be like if LeBron knew and he didn't like it, it would leak.
yeah,
Or if AD knew and he liked or didn't like it, or Luke, like there's too many leaks nowadays. So I think this is literally two guys that are good friends, and I don't think there was much outside of just those two people because they knew each other so good. Because there's no way that gets to the LeBron camp and something doesn't come out of lookout wiggly eyes or whatever. You get the raised eyebrow emoji from someone tweets that's close to LeBron and everyone's freaking out. So I do think this is one of the rare cases where it was just no one knows.
yeah.
Call the owner last minute and say, "This is what we're doing."
Yeah, I 100% agree with you because like normally when it comes out like, oh, LeBron did not influence the Lakers to trade, I mean, to get Bronny James or did not, JJ Redick, he had no idea that they were going to hire him. It's like, come on. But this one, I'm just like, I bet he had no idea because, uh, I just think he was good with Davis. He wanted more support around him. And then it was funny because like I think Rob Pelinka or somebody from the Lakers like leaked out they were a little frustrated with AD making mention about like getting a better support around him. I'm like I don't think they were that frustrated, but they were offered Luka Doncic, so they're not going to say no. Like, that's what it comes down to. You don't need a
Yeah, I
reason,
think
Lakers. We get it. We get it.
no. Yeah, I think AD would have been gone this summer.
Okay.
With kind of the stuff he's going, but not right now at the
Mhm.
moment. Just ride the season out. But yeah, when someone calls and says, "How about Luca?" I'd be like, "Can you hold for 30 seconds? Let me just call the owner quick, and we're good to go."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Okay. Real quick, great grades for each team.
A plus for the Lakers and like an F for the Mavs. I again, Mavs could get something out of this where it looks good if Luca's not, doesn't clean it up, but still, you can't take that little, and you can't say no if you're the Lakers.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. A plus Lakers, F to the Mavs. Okay, that's all the time we got everybody. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment down below, give us your grade for each team. Let us know your thoughts on Luka being a Laker. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to everyone real soon. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.